Hi everyone, I'm Yannick for Canadian Precision Shooting. Today we are making a video about feedback we get on target with different PRS calibers. So first of all, the purpose of the video. Since I switched my cartridge for this year PRS centerfire, I went from the popular 6 creedmoor to the less popular, or well, less known 22BR, which is just a 6BR naked down to 22 calibers. So since I've switched the caliber for this year PRS, I got asked a lot if the 22BR have less feedback on target and if arrows are able to call difference between an impact and a miss. As we know, when we shoot about kilometers far, calibers like the 223 Remington are hard to call the impact on target because they don't move a lot, they don't make a lot of splash, they don't have a lot of energy out there. So I got asked a lot if it's the same with a 22BR. So the idea of the video is to compare different calibers to see if we're able to spot ourselves the splash to make the correction, or if it's easy or not for the arrow to spot on the splash on the target. So the idea here is to compare different popular PRS calibers and see what it does on the target and on the ground. How are we gonna measure that? We're gonna put a target at about 300 yards and another just a bit under 700 yards at a place I have access to shoot. We'll put them close to a dirt road, and we're gonna shoot different calibers I have here, and we're gonna shoot them both on target and on the ground. We're gonna check for the splash height on both distances, and compared to the size of the target, we're gonna measure how high the dust go. We're gonna only measure the dust on the splash itself, because a lot of the time the wind, move the direction or get the splash a bit higher. So we're just gonna measure the splash a couple fraction of seconds after the impact. The calibers we got for the video is the 223 Remington. This one is a 6 BRA, the 22BR, 6 creedmoor, 6.5 creedmoor, and the 308. Only calibers I find missing for the video is the 6 dasher. So I bet it's something between the 6 BRA and the 6 creedmoor. Sadly, I don't have access to this caliber when I did the video, so I went with what I got. For those who just want to see the result of the testing, you can go at the end of the video. I will show the table out there of what we got. And for those who want to see all the splash and all the testing for the 6 caliber at both distances, both on the ground and on target, just follow the video. Before we start, I want to thank 2 companies that helped make this video possible. Guangzhou Target, who provided the target themselves for the test, and Benchmark Barrel, who have provided a couple barrels through the years to test all those calibers at the range. Both brands are really awesome group to work with, and awesome quality as you can expect for PRS and competition style shooting. A little bit of more information about the test itself. I found out shooting on the ground, even if it's a dirt road, a compacted dirt road with rock in it, shooting from different spot on the same road gave us different feedback for the same calibers. So that tells me the splash themselves on the ground is really dependent on the ground itself, the ground material, the ground compaction, the humidity on the, did it rain and everything. I think it rained the day before the test, but you can see there's a lot of dust going out of the ground when we shoot. I've used a TL3 action with 3 different barrels to change calibers to make things easier and quicker for the video itself. I hand screw the barrel on the action. I do not recommend doing that, but it ended up great. The fun fact is, even changing the barrel themselves by hand and not torquing them more than that, I haven't seen a zero shift, even if it's caliber changing too. The zero shifted for about 0.2 on the 3 different barrels, and so that gives a lot of information about how straight the benchmarks are, and how it's written up who cut the chamber themselves, how the cut was straight. Being able to switch 3 barrels, torque them by hand, and getting the same result over 3 different caliber, really impressed. Really impressed. And for those who wonder, even not torquing the barrel just by hand, the barrel didn't untorqued or over torqued over the 10 to 20 rounds I've shot through them. An interesting fact. So before I started the video, I punch all the numbers in the ballistic software to see what the energy is at 300 yards and at just a bit under 700 yards, to check if the energy they're gonna deliver on the ground and on the target have an impact on the splash itself, or if it's the bullet itself, bullet size and bullet weight itself that gonna give us the feedback. I was going after the idea that the energy have the most to do about it, and so that's why I got the table you can see right now. On the different calibers, you get all the information about which bullet I was using, because obviously using different BC, different speeds, gonna give you different results, and but I think it gave us a nice idea and a nice average of what's happening. So what we can expect, and we'll see that over the video, is for the bigger calibers to get bigger splash, like the 308, 6.5, and 6 Creed. There are 3 gonna be in a higher class of feedback at close distances over the 22s and the 6 BRA. But when we get past a certain distances, so when we get close to the 700 yards, the ballistic coefficient and the speed of 308 put it down, and it get on target with way less energy than the 6.5 and the 6 creedmoor. So we're going to see the splash on target and the splash on the ground with the 308 if it's really rely on energy delivered out there. And as you can see, the 223 itself, as I was expecting, lose a lot of energy at long range, so we're probably gonna have a hard time spotting and everything what the 223 does, like we do in a match with the guys who are shooting 223 at long range. They're hard to call, the impact and the miss themselves. Alright, that being said, let's dive into it. So at the end of the day, if you've listened on all the video on everything, on every caliber test, you now have no surprise of what I'm going to show. But I'll show you 2 tables of content. One with colors on it, who gives us the like greens going for bigger feedback and red for less feedback, and one just with the raw data on it. So as we were expecting, the energy itself gives us a lot of information about the feedback we're gonna get. The energy is based on the ballistic, the weight of the bullet, and the speed itself. So higher ballistic coefficient at higher speed keep more energy over travel. So if it have a nice weight at the beginning, it's gonna keep the most of the energy over the travel, compared to, let's say, the 308, which have a bad ballistic coefficient. So and it starts slow. So at closer distances, the weight the bullet deliver more energy, but when you shoot further, it loses a lot of the energy on the travel itself, and it ended up with what we're gonna see. Let's say the average low of the test, the 308 was okay for spotting and stuff, but compare, let's say, to the 6.5 Creed, which have less weight on the bullet but higher ballistic coefficient and higher speed, they were a lot more energy and gives us a lot more feedback. Let's say the 6 Creed and 6.5 have about the same. They were about the same result on target and on the ground at 700. At 300, all calibers gives us a nice feedback. Even if it's not the biggest one, we were able to see all the splash and all the impact on target. So at closer distances, there is less impact, even if we see a difference on the feedback we get. It's the more interesting data to check is really for the 700 yard target, as out there the 223, as we were expecting, didn't deliver enough energy to being a nice caliber to spot on the ground and on target. It's possible we got some splash, we got some nice splash, but overall it doesn't have a lot of energy. So depending on the ground you're going to shoot at, you might lose some feedback out there. With little surprise maybe for some people, the 6 BRA came second last on the test over the 6 calibers, as it going slower at the beginning with a good ballistic coefficient, but not as good at, let's say, the 22 BR. It loses a lot of energy on the travel itself. 22 BR on the other hand, on the ground it's really close to the 6 BR on most of the shot, but on target it might just be the bullet itself. It gives a lot of feedback. The feedback on the target with 22 BR is somewhere between the 6 Creed and 6.5 creedmoor. That being said, it's probably not the energy itself, because if we check on the data, it doesn't have as much energy as the 6.5 and the 6 creedmoor. It's probably the design of the bullet itself that deliver more dust when it get to the impact, and it's probably where we got the more feedback out there. But that being said, you've seen it on video, we get a lot of feedback with the 22 BR. And from there up, over the calibers, I will say the feedback themselves, both on the ground and on target, are way more than enough to be able to spot yourself at the PRS game. There's no surprise, the 6 Creed and the 6.5 Creed gave us the more feedback on both the target and on the ground, as they have the best ballistic coefficient and the best speed. So it's an interesting video. It was more science than fun to watch. I will guess for you, but I think a quick conclusion: if you're looking at a caliber, For sure, in PRS, you want to see your splash to make your correction, and you want to make sure when you're on target, you get feedback for it. So if you're not sure the caliber you're going on deliver enough energy and stuff, what we saw is the feedback is totally related through the energy. So you can compare data themselves on about every ballistic software and go to the energy in foot-pound. And I will say for this test at 675 yards, if you're over 700 or 800 feet-pound of energy, you should get a good feedback. So you can just start from that if you really care about the feedback you're gonna get on target and on the ground to make your selection on the caliber themselves or the bullet themselves or what you're looking at. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and some of you found it interesting enough. So I hope to see you guys at the range soon.